Quran in chapter 17 verse 34 and Quran chapter 6 verse 52 make us to know this, because it actually interchanged the word marriageable age with puberty. It says, do not come near the wealth of the orphan unless intending to enhance it until they attain maturity. So you can see that when we talk about marriageable age, it is talking about the time that they are matured. So indicating that in Islam, there is something called marriageable age. And what it means is that if you do not attain marriageable age, you cannot marry. For you to marry at that age, it is illegal, it is haram. The only time you can marry is once you have clocked marriageable age. Note, I am not saying that once you reach marriageable age, you are supposed to marry. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that it is a milestone that you cannot marry if you do not reach that age, because Islam categorizes you as a child. You have not reached the age of puberty. However, once you hit that, then you can be said to have been a woman or a man capable of marriage. In the book of Abu Dawood, Hadith 2873, narrated Ali ibn Abi Talib, he said, I memorized a tradition from the Messenger of Allah, there is no orphanhood after puberty, and there is no silence for the whole day till the night. So what this hadith is telling us is that even for an orphan, once you reach that age of puberty, and it means that you have become independent. So there is nothing like orphan again. You are not going to be regarded as an orphan again because you have commitments to the society. And even in Trimide, Hadith 1109, Abu Hurairah narrated that the Messenger of Allah said, an orphan is to be consulted about herself. Then if she is silent, that is her permission. And if she refuses, then do not authorize marriage for her. Meaning, when she attained the age of puberty and refused. So this indicates to us that even when you reach the age of marriage, that does not mean that you should be married, but it's just to tell you that you have started your journey of life. It does not mean that at that point in time you should marry. So I want to say that even reaching the age of puberty is not a yardstick for you to marry. However, if you decide to marry at that point in time, there's no crime in it. So I want to emphasize this, and that's why I want to corroborate Quran chapter 4 verses that is not talking about marriage, but it is telling us that marriageable age is a time whereby you can get married. Now, I want to talk about what about somebody that has been betrothed to somebody, a virgin betrothed to somebody. Because somebody can say, you betrothed somebody. What about if that person at the end of the day did not like that person? There is a lot of discussion on this. I want to narrow myself now to some aspect until maybe during the question and answer series that some of this we will discuss. It is narrated in the book of Abu Dawood at the 2096, narrated Abdullah ibn Abbas. A virgin came to the prophet and mentioned that her father had married her against her will. So the prophet allowed her to exercise her choice. So meaning that even when you are married to somebody, and at the end of the day you do not like her, at the time of consummating the marriage, you have the right to nullify that marriage. You have the right to that. In fact, in Islam, marriage is not to be seen as sending somebody to the prison or hell. You have that freedom of choice. One of the very first things we are asked during our marriage time is the idea of offer and acceptance. And even when you are married to somebody and you have not consummated the marriage, that is why in Quran chapter 33 verse 49 it says that you do not have to observe any Eid because the marriage has not been consummated. Let me quickly talk about, there are certain times that people use Hadith of Bukhari 6130 to say that during the time of Aisha, when the Prophet married Aisha, because Prophet married Aisha at the age of 6, the marriage there is betrothed, it is like engagement. That was the reason why Aisha was in her father's house. It was on the Aisha reached the age of puberty that she moved into the house of the Prophet. So they normally quote this hadith to indicate that in that hadith, it's saying the playing with the dolls and similar images is forbidden. But it was allowed for Aisha at that time, as Aisha was a little girl, not yet reached the age of puberty. To justify that, the Prophet consummated the marriage with Aisha even when Aisha had not reached the age of puberty. I want you to note when you read this hadith in Arabic, you are not going to see that comment that I read there. And that is the reason why in that hadith, it was put in bracket to show that this is the opinion of the scholar that wrote this, Ibn Asqalani. So, similar hadith can be found in the hadith of Muslim, hadith of Muslim 1422, where this thing is not there. And to tell us that you cannot use playing of doll to indicate whether somebody has reached maturity or not, or that somebody playing with doll means that that person is, you cannot use it in Islam. In Abu Dawud hadith 4932, we are told that when the Prophet ﷺ went to the battle of Tabuk, it was Aisha that narrated that hadith. That when he came back, he saw her with her dolls, and he was asking her, what are these dolls? And Aisha told her. And the Prophet never condemned it. For the sake of clarity, Battle of Tabuk occurred 2 years after the passing away of the Prophet. The Prophet Aisha was 18 years when the Prophet passed away, meaning that at this point in time, Aisha was 16 years old and she was playing with dolls. This indicates that the commentary of the other person is non and void, because this is a direct statement of the Prophet seeing Aisha with dolls and never condemning it. Now, most of what my opponent will be doing today is that she will be using Surah 65 verse 4 to say that, oh, in this surah, it stated clearly that you can consummate marriage with a minor. What does that surah say? It said, as for your woman, past the age of menstruation, in case you do not know their waiting period, is 3 months. And those who have not menstruated as well, as for those who are pregnant, their waiting period is also 3 months. Note, there are something you need to understand here. Somebody can reach the age of puberty, but you may not have started menstruation. And that's the reason why when I was talking about the issue of puberty the other time, I read out something that even menstruation is even one of the last part of puberty. So meaning that for somebody to reach the age of puberty, then you can get married. Now this verse of the Quran clearly demonstrates to us that these people called women in this case, they were married. And for you to be married, according to Surah 4 verse 6, you must have clocked that marriageable age. So it shows that for you to clock that marriageable age, you must have attained the age of puberty. So this shows to us clearly that this hadith is not talking about the little children, but rather talking about those women who have reached the age of puberty, however, have not started menstruation. And that's the reason why Allah, when He's making legislation about things, if He wanted to talk about children that have not reached the age of puberty, He wouldn't have used this type of if they have not started menstruation, because adults might not have started menstruation. Somebody who has hit the age of puberty might not have started menstruation. A case in this instance is in Quran chapter 24, verse 58 and 59. Allah says, O you who believe, let not whom your right hand possesses, and those who have not yet reached puberty among you, ask permission before entering at 3 times. Verse 59 said, and when the children among you reach puberty, Allah will have used that, and those of your wives that have not reached puberty. Allah didn't say so. So he's talking about those women who have actually not started menstruation, though they have reached the age of puberty. And that's why in the comment of Ibn Kathir, when you see the sabab nuzul of this particular ayah, it says Ibn Abdul Asim recorded the similar narration than this one from Ubay ibn Ka'b, who said, O Allah Messenger, when the ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah was revealed prescribing the iddah of divorce, some people in Medina say there are some women whose iddah has not been mentioned in the Quran. They are young, old, and pregnant. You can see what the word you said. There are some women not part of the children. And lastly, I want us to note in Quran chapter 2, verse 22-28, the reason for iddah is to determine whether that person is pregnant. Can somebody who has not reached the stage of puberty be pregnant? No. Can somebody who has reached the puberty but have not menstruated be pregnant?
Sorry, did I press anything? All right, Connect with Islam. I think your time is up, right? Connect with Islam. Can you turn on your mute, please? Can you unmute?
Okay.
I guess the time has run down, right?
Yes, that's why I stopped.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your presentation. Before Mommy of Kufar actually start, please, guys, please let us share this live and let us like it and power tap for it, please. I'm still getting some messages that it actually requires more likes and shares so people come benefit and the life can be stable. So now I'll be giving Mommy of all Kufar. Let me expand that first. She's gonna be having 20 minutes to actually do our submissions, and your time starts now.
Sorry guys, 1 second. Sorry, that was the old picture from last night.
That's all right. I will start
good.
when we start talking.
Okay. Can I start?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good morning or afternoon to everyone. Host, thank you for hosting us. Obviously, I was challenged by Connect with Islam. He wanted to prove that child marriage wasn't permissible in Islam. I must say, for the first round so far, I'm quite disappointed because we both agreed to present our evidence on the screen. So far, we've only seen like half the evidence on the screen. I mean, if you're going to challenge someone for a debate, it's important that you get your tools and your resources ready. So I'm just about to show him exactly how it should work in a debate. Now, on the topic of child marriage, we really want to particularly focus on Aisha here because on your flyer it says a case study into Aisha. We are today going to determine whether Aisha reached puberty. If Aisha never reached puberty as he claimed, then it clearly shows and proves that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, clearly had sexual intercourse with a prepubescent child. And that's why a lot of people are using the word PDF because I don't think it's typical behavior anyway for a 54-year-old man to lay down with a 9-year-old. Now, the first thing I'm going to attack is I'm going to reinstate what Mr. Connect with Islam said. I think everybody was on the live when he clearly mentioned that when it comes to marriage in Islam, you can marry a 1-year-old. He said that. So if I open my mouth and say Islam allows child marriage, I don't think I'm wrong. But he wants to focus on the consummation. I think the consummation is the part that he was trying to explain. No problem. So the first point I'm going to touch on is Quran chapter 4 verse 6, which I am going to be bringing up on the screen, host. So I'm going to be bringing up the tafsir, and I'm also going to be bringing up the reason for revelation, because we know that the reason for revelation has nothing to do with marriage. It has nothing to do with giving someone away to a man or a woman. It's only got to do with returning back the wealth of the orphan when they reach a marriageable age. He keeps talking about the marriageable age, but for some reason, they have not. None of them have been able to give me a specific age. What is this age of marriage that we speak about? So we're going into Quran 4:6 really quickly. 1 second. Sorry guys, sorry for the wait. This is on my phone. I'm a little bit confused now. One thing I also didn't appreciate, host, was the fact that he was giving his own personal interpretation to verses. When I come with honesty and I come in truth, and I do not use my own interpretations to give explanations to ayah. I am bringing up scholarly tafsir and scholarly references because I believe that's how it should be done. Now, Quran chapter 4 verse 6, where it talks about marriageable age. One question I would like for Connect with Islam to answer on his next turn is, what is this particular age of marriage? Because you guys scream marriageable age all the time, yet we still don't know it. Yet, under the same breath, you're saying that in Islam, you can marry a 1-year-old. So what is actually this marriageable age? Now, Quran chapter 4 verse 6, host, for anybody that doesn't know what Asbab al-Nuzul is, and Asbab al-Nuzul simply means the cause of revelation. What took place? What happened before Allah revealed this ayah? Now, let's look at the cause of revelation. Prove orphans, chapter 4 verse 6. This was revealed about Thabit ibn Rifa and his uncle Rifa when he died. His son Thabit was very young. Then the uncle of Thabit went to the messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, "The son of my brother is an orphan under my care. What is lawful for me from his wealth, and when should I give back the wealth?" And then the answer was provided: test the competence of the orphans. And host, I would also like to point out the fact that this verse is talking about orphans. When we look at Aisha was not an orphan. Aisha still had his father alive, which was actually the man that gave her out in marriage. Aisha was not an orphan. Aisha had a father called Abu Bakr. So this verse would be completely irrelevant in my own opinion. Now, he brought up chapter 65 verse 4. We are going to go into that particular ayah, and as per usual, I am not going to be interpreting the ayah by myself. I am going to be bringing up the scholarly references as we are supposed to. So let's see what chapter 65 verse 4 says. One second. Now, chapter 65 verse 4. We know that this particular ayah is talking about divorce, talaq. And the reason as to why Allah has given a prescribed iddah, which is the period of waiting for the women before they move on to another relationship. I want everybody in the house right now to pay in mind that back then in the time of the Prophet, we didn't have what we know today as a pregnancy test. Because we didn't have a pregnancy test, this was another method to find out that after divorce, in case this woman is pregnant, we would know who the father is. Now, there are 3 categories of females that were mentioned in this ayah. Number 1, those that have gone past the age of menstruation. Number 2, those that have not menstruated. And number 3, those that are pregnant. It says, as for your women past the age of menstruation, in case you do not know, their waiting period is 3 months, and for those who have not menstruated as well. As for those who are pregnant, their waiting period ends with delivery, and whoever is mindful of Allah, He will make their matters easy for them. So what I'm going to do, because I'm a very honest person, and I think I'm much more of a submitter than most Muslims, because I would never dare to interpret an ayah by myself. I am going to bring up all the scholarly tafsir, which they all agree, from Ibn Abbas to Ibn Kathir to Jalalain to Al-Qurtubi. All the 4 of them agree, 4 or 6 of them agree. So I'm just going to bring up maybe 2 or 3 because I'm trying to use my time wisely, okay? Okay, so this is one of my favorite scholars to use, Ibn Kathir, because I think it goes in detail. I really like that about Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir talks about the iddah of those in menopause and those who do not have menses. Allah the Exalted clarifies the waiting period of the woman in menopause, and it says that is the one whose menstruation has stopped because of her older age. Her iddah is 3 months instead of the 3 monthly cycle. So, host, what I want you guys to pay attention to is that all the women, all the females listed in this particular ayah, they don't menstruate. Why? Number 1, they are too old. Number 2, they have not menstruated, and number 3, they are pregnant. I think anybody that knows simple biology would know that there are 3 cases or 3 scenarios in a woman's life where she will most likely not menstruate. Number 1, she hasn't reached the age of menstruation. She's young. Like me, menstruation had to happen at some point. Number 2, when she is pregnant. When most women are pregnant, they do not menstruate. And they will come to number 3 when it comes to a point in a woman's life where she's too old, her period completely goes. She reaches a menopausal state. Now, the Tapasir continues to say, the same for the young who have not reached the years of menstruation. So I'm just going to post the question to the comment section. Who are those that have not menstruated due to young age? It says their IDA is 3 months, just like those in menopause. Now, let's move on to Aisha's case just a little bit, right? We can see that when it comes to the marriage of Aisha, it was her father that gave her away in marriage. Now, I would like to connect with Islam to show me where Aisha consented to that marriage. Because the title of that hadith, Sahih al-Bukhari, let me bring it up on the screen. So the title completely says it all. It says, the marrying of a daughter by her father to a ruler. Some will say the permissibility of marrying or a father giving out his young virgin child in marriage. It depends. Now, it was narrated by Aisha that the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage with her when she was 9 years old. Hisham said, I have been informed that Aisha remained with the Prophet for 9 years till his death. Now, I would like to connect with Islam to show me where Aisha would have consented. Because at the beginning of the conversation, he said that in Islam, you can sign a contract with a 1-year-old baby. He said that with his own mouth. Now, tell me, how does a 1-year-old baby that you claim is allowed to be married in your religion, how does that 1-year-old baby sign? We can clearly see that when it comes to a young virgin girl in Islam, her consent is irrelevant. It depends on the man. It has to be a male figure. In Islam, women can't even give out their own daughters in marriage. It has to be a male figure. If the father is not available, it will be the brother, anyone that's the wali. Now, let's prove that Aisha was not reaching puberty whilst the marriage was consummated. So I have one evidence here. 1 second. Host, I might struggle to read this. 1 second, let me see if I can get the same on the second device. This is the Hanafi school of thought, by the way. This is one of the 4 imams. And I'm hoping that if I get more time, I'm able to present each statement from the 4 imams, which is the Shafi school of thought, which is the Hanbali, Hanafi, and Maliki. Unless Connect with Islam has something that would override the 4 al-Islam, the 4 imams of Islam, then yes, I will give him the credit for that. But let me just see if I can squeeze my vision a little bit and read it. I can't read it. So what I'm gonna do? 1 second.
How about you give the reference and read it out for us?
Yeah, 1 second. I've got my other device here. Please give me 1 second. If my time runs out, I will present it on the next slot. But let me just I've got a second device here. I'm gonna read it from, okay? Because it's really tiny, but as I'm reading it, I will be naming the sources as well. So just bear with me. Guys, just tap the screen whilst we wait.
I don't mind if you pause the time for her. I don't mind.
I don't think
if you can do that as well, please, I wouldn't mind.
But is there a way to pause it?
Maybe just pause me at 8:21 and then let it run.
I don't think they can. Yeah. I don't think there is a way one can pause it. The countdown. It doesn't show pause. It just say end.
Just look at the time. Then whatever is going to be added, so you let it elapse at
yeah, that's fine. How many minutes now is it? Because it's so wide.
From 7:56.
7:56, that's fine. So you have another, let's say 12 minutes extra.
Okay, so I have it in front of me. So I'm reading from, this is from the Hanafi School of Thought, wrote by Al-Mazbut, book 4, page 213. It says, and in this hadith, it is evident that it is allowed for a young girl, al-Sagira, to be sent off to her husband. And if she is able to have intercourse, she was 9 years old when she was sent to the Prophet, which is evidence that she was young, al-Sagira. And it says in the hadith that that they fattened her. So according to one of the narrations in the hadith, which I'm going to put up on the screen, it says in there that Aisha was so small before her mother wanted to send her off to the Prophet that they had to fatten her. Because the claim that connects with Islam made that when it comes to the consummation of marriage, the girl needs to reach puberty. We can see that puberty is not a criteria in Islam. It depends on the physical ability of the child. What Islam focuses on is the harm factor. If I consummate this marriage, will it cause harm? If it's going to cause harm, maybe they will agree on something else. So it says here that, and in the hadith, it says that they fattened her when she gained weight and she was wedded to the messenger of Allah. Al-Saraski is explicit that a prepubescent girl can have her marriage consummated and uses Aisha. Oh, guys, they're reporting me. Oh, you see? I don't know. This is what I don't like. They are reporting me. Let me come back on another account. This is exactly the same thing that happened yesterday. I don't want to violate the live. I'll be right back.
Guys, for God's sake, I don't know. Whoever that is doing this, please. I don't think this is necessary, please. For God's sake, please. We don't know who is doing this, but whoever is doing this, I don't think this is actually the right thing, please. Both of them are actually having the same equal time. Please, let us just listen to these people, for God's sake. Please, can we just stop reporting?
Nah, 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 nah. Okay, I'm ready again.
Yeah, just 1 second. Okay. Are you ready?
No, let me get my green screen ready. 1 second. Thank
So if
you.
you are a Muslim and you are doing this, please, I beg you in the name of Allah, please do not report this account again. I'm begging you, or whoever that you are, or whatever you believe, I'm sorry, please, I beg you in the name of God, please do not report this account again. Go on.
Thank you very much, host. So, I was reading that it is explicit that a prepubescent, so this is from the Hanafi school of thought, by the way. If you want me to send you all the links to the website, Islam Web or Shamila, I can send you. These are authentic Arabic sources as well. I've just got them in English. So it says that it is explicit that a prepubescent girl can have her marriage consummated and uses evidence as Aisha being prepubescent at the age of 9. He also used the hadith of fattening Aisha as proof that it is about physical ability. Now, Shafi said, if someone states, why do you claim that the father can marry off the young ones, al-Sagira? Say, Abu Bakr gave Aisha in marriage to the messenger of Allah at the age of 6 or 7, and the Prophet consummated the marriage at the age of 9. Hence, both the cases of marriage and consummation took place when Aisha was young, who had no command over herself. I'm going to repeat that. If someone says, why did you claim that the fathers can marry off the young ones? Say, Abu Bakr gave Aisha in marriage to the messenger of the Prophet at the age of 6 or 7, and that the Prophet consummated the marriage at the age of 9 years. Hence, both the cases of marriage and consummation took place when Aisha was young, al-Sagira, who had no command over herself. Now, let's look at what the 4 Imams have said. This is another reference from Al-Shafi. I think I can see this one a little bit, so I can read it from the screen. So it says, this is Al-Shafi, this is by Al-Nawawi, Shad Muslim, sorry, I still can't read it. Let me continue reading my phone. Let me just get the page. So page 48. Okay, so one of the imams called Shafi from the Shafi school of thought said, with regards to the wedding party of a young married girl, al-Sagira, and consummating the marriage, if the husband and the guardian of the girl agree upon something that would not cause harm, which I mentioned before, I mentioned the physical ability and the harm factor, then the consummation may be done. If the husband and the guardian disagree, then Ahmed and Abu Ubaid said that once a girl reaches the age of 9, she can be compelled to the consummation without her consent. But this does not apply to younger girls. Maliki al-Shafi Abu Hanifa said, the limit of consummation is to endure sexual intercourse without harm, which varies among girls, so no age limits can be set. This is the correct view. There is nothing in the hadith of Aisha that gives any limitation or any prohibition of sexual intercourse for the girl that is capable even before the age of 9. Nor there is any indication in the hadith that seeking consent is necessary from a girl who is unable to handle sex and has reached the age of 9. Ali Dawoodi said Aisha had grown up very well. Al-Qadi said there is no punishment upon the one who has sexual relations with the young girl under the age of 9 because those who are like her are not desirable. This is the correct opinion, is that when the female is ready to have intercourse and has sex with a male that's able to have sex, then the punishment is due upon the accountable person out of the two, and it should not be confined to the age of 9 and 10, because limitation is only set when there is established proof, and this has been established. The age of 9 being an age when pleasure is usually possible does not mean that pleasure cannot be met at a younger age before 9 years old. Just as puberty usually occurring at the age of 15 does not mean it cannot occur before that. Now, let me go to, do I still have any time left? Okay, I still have 5 minutes. So my very last piece of evidence is, I want to show you what you can do to a child so young that is still breastfeeding according to Islam. Because remember, most 1-year-old babies can still breastfeed. And when Connect with Islam came up, he said in Islam you can marry a 1-year-old. Of course, in Islam, you cannot sleep with that 1-year-old because that would clearly, will be damaging, right? But these are some of the things that you can do to your breastfeeding child bride. 1 second. I have too many evidences, so it confused. Currently on page 55, and I'm just going to leave, I'm going to drop it here because I would like Connect with Islam to also provide references, because I'm not happy at the fact that he wasn't able to put anything that he was quoting on the screen. Everyone has to take time out of their day to come and do this. Now, this is by Ayatollah Khomeini from 1990 to 1989. This is also from the Shia. I'm bringing Shia sources as well, and I'll go back to the Sunni one. It says, it is not permissible to have sexual intercourse with one's wife before she has reached 9 years of age, but it may be a permanent or a temporary marriage. But there is no problem with all other... sexual pleasures, such as lustful touch, embracing, kissing, tying, and rubbing one's bola. It says it penis. I don't want to say the word, against her thighs, even if the wife is still a baby being breastfed. A man having intercourse with a girl younger than 9 has not committed a crime, but only an infraction, provided that the girl is not permanently damaged. If she is, however, permanently damaged, for example, her urethra and her vagina and her anus becomes one, it will be permanently haram for him to have intercourse with her. This is, however, for precaution. In case by damaging her, the marriage does not become void and all the laws of marriage are still applicable, meaning she will inherit from him and he will inherit from her, and he can't marry a fifth permanent wife. So I'm just going to stop there. Now, according to all the four imams, we have seen what they've stated. I've been able to provide my evidence and put it on the screen. With all due respect, in this next round, I do require, if he says that I'm wrong, no problem. He needs to provide sources that you cannot marry a prepubescent girl. And I would like authentic Islamic sources. I don't want anything outside of Islam, because he was trying to use science as a definition for puberty. But in Islam, puberty is measured in a different way. When it comes to Islam, they see menstruation as puberty. But we all know that when it comes to that, just because a girl has her period has not made her an adult. A 6-year-old waking up or a 7, 8, 9-year-old waking up tomorrow and having a menstruation has not made her an adult. So apart from the Shia sources that I showed, because there are some Shias here that like to say that their own religion is better, but nah. Shias and Sunni, they differ on a lot of things. They have objection. But when it comes to this child marriage and child knacking, they have the same belief. According to one of their sources, the Prophet entered Aisha at the age of 10 as well, which would still be called a child. So I would like for him to bring Islamic sources that backs him up. If he can bring something from the four imams, like I did, because those are one of the highest authority, apart from the Quran being the highest authority, then followed by the Hadith, the four imams, the school of jurisprudence are very, very important in this case, because they also gave their ruling. And according to what I've read, you can see that they all unanimously agree that you can marry and you can sleep with children. Puberty is not a requirement in Islam, because Quran chapter 65:4 says, for those that have not yet menstruated, it says that, and all the tafsir says those are the ones that are too young and have not reached the stage or the years of menstruation. So I would really, really like some Islamic sources. If you can't provide that, I would like to end this particular conversation where it is. So yeah, and I just wanted to say, guys, please say no to child marriage. I think it's really sad that in 2026 we do have people that want to defend this. There is no benefit to it. There is no rewards to it. It ruins girls' childhood. It ruins their lives. It takes away their education. It takes away many, many opportunities. Children, just like Aisha, as I read, both consummation and marriage happened when she was prepubescent. So it's clearly obvious that she wouldn't have been able to consent to such an adult activity. Say no to child marriage. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Firstly, for all our viewers in the comment section, at the moment now, personally, me, I can't feel anything like anything insultive directed to either of the debaters nor the faith as well. Please, if we can keep it this way, it will be really, really very good. You can see no one is actually being insulted to anyone's faith or talking very bad to or insulting the co-debater or anyone or whatsoever. And this is what we actually want to achieve. And at the moment, as of now, I think we are actually sticking to all the ground rules and all that. Mommy of all kufar, let me pass this information first. Normally, in a debate, when you're doing your presentation, that is the first presentation, you don't have to bring out your evidence to stick it on the board. You can quote by mouth and all that. And that is why in the cross-section, when you ask, you make a statement about this, give me evidence that is, and that person has to bring out the evidence. If he cannot, then that means that statement you have actually made, you have to take it back. It will be falsified. And you will imagine, even with your time as well, this is not a section where you have to stick out the evidence. When you do the cross-examination, yes, you will. Now, the presentation is just to give a background of your intention, of your idea, and all that. Then the rebuter will be based on what you have said now. He will rebut it. He might be able to give some quotes or evidence, or if he wants to stick it on the board, which I wouldn't suggest right now. But during the cross-examination, then yes. You make a statement, I will tell you, show me evidence that this won't happen, give me evidence that this, and you have to be specific to that, just for you to take a note of that. Connect Islam, I think you're having the final 10 minutes to actually do your rebuttal, and your time starts now.
Not rebuttal. I have 5 minutes for additional because I have not concluded my presentation. Just like I said that once we do the 20 minutes, I will know whether I will need it. So please let me just conclude it. 5 minutes first.
No, 1 second. Connect Islam. If we're going to grant that 5 minutes, please, I need you to bear with me. I need to consent. If Mommy of Islam is actually, Mommy of Kufar is actually happy to actually do that extra 5 minutes before rebuttal, yes. If not, you remember at the beginning she said she doesn't have time for that for the whole of the 20 minutes, but yes, she was able to use it. And I think there is something she said that she wants to stick on the page as well. So I think I just want to be fair to actually get those time from both of you. So Mommy, are you actually happy to do another?
Sorry, hold on. What she said was not that she doesn't have time. She doesn't have much to present to cover that. But I have, and I say I have. So we are now talking about, will that 20 minutes not be too much? But she realized that, and I was so generous to even say, okay, pause for her. And even that pause in her, it took
almost 5 minutes. I'm not saying he can't. Give it to him. He was patient with me when I needed to pull up my sources. It's only fair. Give him 5 minutes.
What I just want to say is, for me, I just think she needs to be able to say, yeah, she's actually happy with it. But now that she says she's happy with it, then we can go on with the 5 minutes. So your 5 minutes starts now.
So, okay, can you hear me? Okay, yes. So now where I left, so the issue of Quran chapter 65 verse 4, telling, okay, maybe before then, you can see that as I have been presenting, I have been giving the reference. And Mommy of Kufar also witnessed the fact that I have my presentation here. The thing is that once I display it, you may not even be able to read it because I do not know how it will fit in the screen. But like you said, maybe during the cross section, if it's asking for evidence, I will do it. But whatever I am saying, I am giving my references. So I am not just saying this from my own head. So Quran chapter 65 verse 4, like I said the other time, talks about woman who has not started menstruation. The meaning of woman who has not started menstruation is that these people, they have reached the puberty age, however, have not started menstruation. In the commentary of Ibn Kathir, just like this, my sister has been saying that Ibn Kathir said they are young. Even in this opinion of the scholars, he has been reading Sogiro. Sogiro means young. Being young does not mean that you have not attained the age of puberty. It may even be early puberty, but that doesn't mean you have not reached the age of puberty. You can even be an adult and be young. So that's what I want you to note there. So these people, because of the fact that the marriageable age, the condition is puberty, and I have defined it. Quran has given us the definition of marriageable age. It used the word maturity for it. So if you are expecting me to give you the number, no. So then the fact is that these people, because Allah described them as women who have not yet started menstruating because they are young. So they are young, meaning young does not mean that they are child. They are not child because they have reached the age of puberty. And the reason why Allah is commanding them to observe Ida is because there is probability for them to become pregnant, just like she has considered. So, gentlemen, everybody listening, the question is this: can somebody who has not reached the age of puberty become pregnant? Check it out, fast check it. The answer is no. But the question is that can somebody who has reached the age of puberty but has not started menstruation be pregnant? The answer is yes. This shows that this ayah is actually talking about those people who have reached marriageable age. That's why in that hadith that talks about the reason for the revelation, it used the word woman. Now, what I'll be doing right now, again, is the evidence of Aisha. Did Aisha reach the age of puberty before consummating the marriage? In fact, my sister has been quoting one hadith, and she doesn't really understand the implication of that hadith. In the hadith is in Abu Dawood 3903. It says, narrated Aisha, Mu'min, my mother intended to make me gain weight to send me to the house of the Messenger of Allah, but nothing which she desired benefited me till she gave me cucumber and fresh dates to eat. Then I gained as much weight as I desire. She has been using the word that what is needed is for somebody to be physically fit. I do not know whether she understood that when we talk about maturity, we are talking about physical fitness, ability that all your sexual organs are developed. And when I consulted AustralianMenopauseCenter.com, I actually asked the question, what was the effect of eating cucumber and dates on puberty? It says, and let me display it so that even if this is one of the things that I will display for people to see, I think I should be able to do that. Sorry. Okay, this is it. I'm very sorry if you cannot see it all, but I will read it. Both cucumber and date products contain bioactive compounds that can influence estrogen level, though they function in slightly different way. The primary mechanism for both is through phytoestrogen, physioestrogen, plant-based compound that structurally resemble human estrogen and can bind to estrogen receptor. What are phytoestrogen? Phytoestrogen are substances found in plant-based food that have a similar chemical structure as estrogen in a woman's own body and have estrogen-like property. Now, if you look at when I was talking about, if you remember when I was talking about puberty, what are those things that
Round up, time is up.
Wow.
So you can bring, yeah, you can. That's what I keep saying to you. When you are doing rebuttal and presentation, you don't present. It is when you're doing a cross-examination, you have the time. You would have read it and that's how it works. All right. So we're just going to let that one go now. At the moment, the 5 minutes is off. So, Mommy, do you want to use your 5 minutes too?
Yes, please.
All right. So on the big screen.
Once again, I don't appreciate dishonesty. I think most of us are intellectuals in here. I don't like reading the tafsir and then people try to change the words in the tafsir. According to Ibn Kathir specifically said, those that are too young to menstruate. If you read the Asbab al-Nuzul of that ayah, it is obvious. If you look at the marriage of the Prophet to Aisha, it is obvious. So we are trying to connect all those dots. So I don't like the fact that he's been dishonest. Number two, he now needs to bring any scholar, any imam, any school of thought that says puberty is a criteria for consummation. Because what he's doing so far is that he's giving me his own opinions, and I'm sorry, this is a debate platform. Nobody should care about what your opinion or what your views are. If you're a follower of Islam, what does the Quran say? What does the Sunnah say? What does Orthodox Sunni Islam say about it? It is not about your opinion. So he will need to bring any reference that says puberty is a requirement. And also remember, I brought him a very clear evidence that Aisha was Sagira during both the marriage and during both the consummation. He needs to rebuttal that and bring me something that proves otherwise. Prove to us that Aisha reached puberty prior to the consummation. And you need to prove it not by your own words. To be quite fair, I'm not really interested in your scientific research because, like I said, the way you guys gauge puberty in Islam is the way science talks about puberty. That's obvious, right? So you will need to bring something that's Islamically approved by your scholars, by your sheikhs, by the 4 imams, to prove to us that puberty is a requirement. You understand? Unless you're going to tell me, like one of your brothers told me last night that a 9-year-old is an adult, then the burden of proof is going to be on you again to prove how a 9-year-old is an adult. For the fact that you've mentioned that you can marry a 1-year-old, I don't really know why you're backtracking on what you're saying. But since you said you want to stick to the consummation, and you've already conceded that yes, in Islam you can marry a suckling baby, no problem. So all I would need right now from you is proof. I want it from Sunni Islam, if you're a Sunni Muslim, or if you're a Shia, I want Shia references. You need to bring any imams, any tafsir, any ayah, because the ayah 4:6 you keep talking about, I have read it, I have displayed it for the whole house. I think people can take what they want from it, but you and I both know, you said it yourself, that the ayah doesn't have to do with marriage. The ayah has to do with inheritance. I read the asbab al-nuzul of the ayah. It doesn't connect with marriage anyhow. Thirdly, I brought up the fact that it says test the orphans. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you to test a specific group of people. I've already made it clear to you that Aisha was not an orphan, and I've already requested where you can show me where Aisha gave her consent to the marriage. You understand? You've not been able to prove all these things. I think you've been speaking from your own thoughts and your own opinions, and with all due respect, start and display your evidence. I told you to select another green screen because I don't want the excuse. If you're coming for a debate, make sure you're well prepared. Like, and I can appreciate the fact that you gave me that extra 5 minutes, but I gave it back to you, right? But at least make sure you're ready to display what's on the screen. When I couldn't display mine, I got another device. I read it out from the device as I was displaying it. Please, the burden of proof now is on you. Give me any imams, give me any scholars that agree that puberty is required for consummation. I'll leave the time as it is. I need that evidence. Thank you.
All right, thank you. To be honest with you, I can't wait till the question and answer section, because at this time, you can't escape anything. Like I said, if someone asks you a question or to provide an evidence about something, you can't escape it. You just have to come with it directly. So yeah, the time will come very shortly. So the final 10 minutes for Rebuto now for Connect with Islam, and your time starts now. You're mute, just in case.
Okay, sorry. So from what you have said all since, it's like I just want my sister to just listen carefully. Though I thank her for saying that what I say agree with scientific proof, which is objective. So what he requires from me is to link with Islam, which I have been doing, but she's pretending as if it doesn't make sense. So I really want to start from Quran chapter 4, verse 6. Quran chapter 4, verse 6. Test the competence of the orphan or they reach the marriageable age. What Allah is requiring us to test here is that whether they are going to be independent, and is using 2 milestones. The first one is that they must reach marriageable age. Marriageable age is not meant only for the orphan, it is a general thing in Islam. And also having sound judgment is not peculiar to orphan, it's a general thing in Islam. It's only saying that for an orphan to be independent, once you have tested that they have reached marriageable age and they have sound judgment, release back their property to them. Yes, that is what Ayah is saying. So again, marriageable age is a global thing in Islam. So now the question is that she has been asking the question, what is the marriageable age? The best definition is still from the Quran. Quran told us the marriageable age means maturity. Once you are married, and I quoted Ayah Surah 17:34 and Surah 156, where Allah replaced marriageable age with maturity. So meaning everybody understands in Islam that once you are matured or reach the age of puberty, you are marriageable. And I want you to understand that this marriageable age has to do with physical thing. And that's why I quoted from the hadith that where Ali said, anybody, any orphan that has reached the age of puberty, that is, you are no longer an orphan, you have become independent. So that is what I want to say on that. So she kept on saying, Aisha was not an orphan, but Aisha also have to reach marriageable age. Those people who are not orphan are also, they also have marriageable age in Islam. Anybody who is not mature, you are not fit for marriage according to Islam. So what we are saying in essence is this. The reason for 4-6 is that it is the time that is being determined that once they are independent, return their property back to them. But for somebody who is not an orphan, you don't have any property to receive from anybody because your father, your mother, they are still alive. The property they are returning to the orphan are the property that their parents left behind. So don't hide under the text that, oh, it was orphan. It's not talking about something. No, it was orphan. However, it is using the general standard for the orphan, how to determine when they are going to be dependent. Now, again, I will keep on saying she is confusing the word young and a child. There's difference between being young and being a child. Go and read Surah to know. Quran chapter 24, verse 30, verse 58 and verse 59, where Allah was saying, your children that have not reached the age of puberty is not Sagira. Sagira is young. If somebody can reach the age of puberty and you are young, if you are in your early puberty, you may be young. If you are not menstruating, that doesn't mean that you have not reached the age of puberty. And that is why I am asking my sister, can somebody who has not reached the age of puberty, can you conceive? Can you become pregnant? If not, that ayah is talking about those people who have reached the age of puberty and they have to wait because they might have conceived. She talked about, let me quickly say the issue of the consent. She's looking for a place where Aisha must tell us that, okay, she has consented or she has not consented. In Islam, everything is permissible except what Allah says is wrong. When Aisha was proposed to the Prophet, Aisha never objected. If Aisha had objected, that is what we want to look at. And even there are some, I brought out a Quranic statement where it says that even when you are married, you can nullify the marriage if you don't want it, even without consummation. We never see this in the case of Aisha. I'm going to give more evidence later, maybe during the question, to show that Aisha was actually matured. Now, you have been telling us about, oh, the scholars, the four imams, everything I've been saying is, let me quickly tell you something. When we are talking about imams or scholars in Islam, it is not their name that is important. It is the evidence they are bringing forth to bring their argument. Let me tell you, this is the attitude of the Muslims about the imams. So please, can you? I want us to read this thing. I don't know why this thing is not seeing the. I want to show this thing on my laptop. Can somebody do that for me? Because she has been asking for reference, and I don't know how to. Please, what can I do so that my laptop screen can show?
So I think you need to get away from the green thingy first. From the green app. You need to remove yourself from the green screen first. Then you would now become normal. Then you open your video, then you can show your laptop if you want to use the laptop.
How do I go away from my green screen?
So, yeah, you can reverse back. You know, you got the green screen. I think there will be on those tabs, there will be the normal one too. It's not this one. You're still on green screen, but you are showing.
My sister, you can help. I know you are good at this. So we are debating. We are not in war.
I just didn't want to use your time. That's all.
No, it's okay.
You don't.
You need to.
Okay. Let me read it.
You need to.
I need to do what?
to turn the green screen off. You see that green screen in your background, the house thing we can see. So you need to click on effects.
Okay, yes.
That's
Yes,
it.
fine
Yeah,
now,
turn it
fine now.
off.
You're
Yeah.
fine now.
I've done it. I've done it. I've done it. I've done it. Okay.
Okay.
Now I want us to read this thing. Maybe if you can see it. Can you see it? So
You can read it out
Ibn
yourself.
Abdul-Bari reported. Okay, Ibn Abdul-Bari reported. Anas, may Allah have mercy on him, said, I am a human being. I make mistakes and I am correct. So investigate my opinion. Whatever agree with the book, that is the Quran, and the Sunnah, take it. Whatever does not agree with it, abandon it. And this is the reference to it. So what we do in Islam is this: when a scholar is making an evidence, making a statement, we look at the evidence. So everything you have been quoting to justify that Surah 65 verse 4 is talking about child, please supply us with the evidence that those scholars use to come to that conclusion. If you do not, then it means that you are either misrepresenting them because you do not know certain things, or you are also basing your conclusion on error. However, these are the three things that I want to propose. The very first thing is for us to understand that Surah 65 verse 4 is talking about somebody who has matured. I have asked the question, please tell us, somebody who has not reached the age of puberty, can you become pregnant? That's number one. Number two, is it possible, the Surah, do you believe that in a marriageable age, there is marriageable age in Islam? That's number two. Number three, do you accept that those people in Surah 65 verse 4, they are married? So those are the things I want you to answer. And the last one is that, please, do you agree that it is possible for somebody to have attained marriageable age or reach the age of puberty? Then you are referred to as being young. So if you agree to that, fine. If you do not agree, you tell us your evidence. So the issue of marriage by betrothed, again, I said it. The reason why, because she asked a question, how can 1 year-old person consent to this thing? These are type of marriage that is being done by families. It is in Yoruba culture, it is in many cultures, it is in royal culture everywhere. I see a friend of mine, and I know this family comes from a very good family, and I am telling him, see, this is your daughter, I want to marry her to my son. And they are betrothed to each other. And when they reach the age of puberty, they can now say whether they want to go ahead with it or not.
Time up. Time up. Thank you very much. And big screen, mommy. And your final 10 minutes starts now.
To be honest, I'm actually really quite bored here, if I'm being honest. Like, when I was challenged, I was hoping to come for something a lot stronger. You know, it's really baffling that I have to sit here and Connect with Islam is allowed to make its own tafsir. I think it's unfair that I have to sit here and Connect with Islam is able to tell me that I don't understand 3 simple words, those that are too young to menstruate. I mean, it is very clear, it is very obvious. Muhammad did it. He married Aisha at prepubescent. So I'm not going to lie, I don't really have much to say. I would just like to, I don't know if it's possible, you want me to sing a song or something? Because for some reason, he's still not able to provide the evidence. I asked him in my previous statement, I said, can you please provide any scholarly evidence that shows that puberty is a requirement? He didn't do that. He's not provided anything so far. The only thing he put on the screen right now is, if you know me, you want to know me, read about my life. Like, I don't know what the hell that has to do with marriage. I don't know what that has to do with the consummation. I don't know what that has to do with the question. So, I don't know. Guys, should I sing a song? Or, I mean, I want to make use of my 9 minutes. Yeah, I don't mind.
If you don't want to make use of that, we can go to the section, to the main question, the one that you actually want, which is the question and answer. So you ask one question, you must answer, you must bring proof, you must do all that. So if you're happy with that, we can go ahead.
Please, let's move on, please.
All right then. So do you want to go first with the question?
Yes, I would like by asking, I'd like to start by asking Connect with Islam.
No. I just want to know, do you want to go first?
I want to ask him first, yeah.
Okay, so 1 second. So let me end the time. So connect with Islam. So it is for you to answer now. So
How many minutes are we going?
Can we just, yeah, give us like a, yeah, thank you.
How many minutes are we going?
15 minutes, right?
Okay, fine.
15 minutes. 15.
Okay.
So after these 15 minutes, you ask her under 15 minutes. If you're not clear, then we're not going to put time. Just make sure. If you now, for the evidence, if you ask for evidence or anything, now this needs to be stick on the thing and shown. So yeah, you can start, mommy.
So Connect with Islam has talked about this marriageable age, but if everybody has noticed, he's not really put a number on it. He's not said it's 16, it's not said it's 17, he's not said it's 8, 9. So my first question is, what is this marriageable age? If there is no number, how does Islam determine what is a marriageable age? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, my sister. In Islam, number is not put on marriageable age. Even in our Yoruba culture, I try as much as possible to Google it to find out at what age in number it says no. So, and the reason being that they are using objective means. Objective means is something that is natural. Because when you put a number, somebody can be 9, somebody can be 10. And if you put it as attaining the age of puberty, the person may not, because individual differs. So what nature requires is that when it dawns on you that you started growing those sexual reproductive organs, irrespective of whatever you are classified as getting to the age of puberty. And this is the definition of the Quran. When Quran was talking about marriageable age, it cites in Quran chapter 17, verse 34, and Quran chapter 6, verse 152. It replaces marriageable age with maturity.
Sorry. Do you want to show us that evidence, please? Because that's what she's saying. She doesn't want you to
post. He's still not really answering my question because
if he doesn't, then drag him back. If he doesn't,
okay, all right, cool. So I'm gonna repeat my question.
You can interrupt. You know that, right?
Okay, all right. But I want to do it simply. I don't want to speak over him. I want each other to be landed. Please, Mr. Connect, make it fast. Now, I asked you, this marriageable age that you keep talking about, what is the age? You said it is not determined by age.
Number.
Sorry, by number. If something is not determined by number, then that means everybody is exposed from 0 to 100 because you cannot put a number on it. So I'm simply asking you, how does Islam determine this puberty if there's no number attached to it?
Okay. So there are two things you are conflicting. You agree marriageable age is attaining puberty. Do you agree with that?
No, sir, because I shall never attain puberty at the age of 6. And you said you can marry a 1-year-old when you started, so no.
Okay, so again, my evidence is this. You can say this is Quran chapter 4, verse 6. Note where it says here.
We can't see. Sorry, we can't see.
You can't see like this?
Yeah, because your camera is.
You can't see like this?
Your camera.
When you open the camera, you need to click save. If you don't click save, you won't save. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Can you see now?
Yes.
So you can see until the orphan reach marriageable age. Can you see the marriageable until the orphan reach marriageable age?
Can you show us the asbab for this ayah, please?
I will. The asbab of this ayah, I don't have it here, but I agree with that.
You can type it in. If you type it in on your Google search, I can tell you how to find. No, I can tell you how to find it because you've been deceiving everybody with this ayah, and we know that ayah is not about. It's not about. 1 second. It's not about marriage. Please go open Safari or Google right now. It's very easy to find. It doesn't take 1 minute.
My sister, you don't need to commit fallacy of adominion. Because accusing me of deceiving and whatever to distract the attention of the people will not help. You can say that you do not agree with my interpretation or whatever, but please don't use the word deceive. You can't You can't do that to gain the emotion of people. So
It is
what I have said
deceptive. It is deceptive that you're trying to use an ayah that talks about inheritance to use for marriage. I think that's deception, and I don't mean that with any disrespect. Can you bring the Asbab al-Nuzul, please?
Okay, wait 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, connect, 1 second, 1 second. A question. Mommy of all Kufar read the Asbab al-Nuzul. Do you agree with what she read or not?
100%. That is the Asbab al-Nuzul. I agree.
You agree?
If you agree, why are you still trying to use this as marriage?
Because you don't understand the context. This is the problem.
I do understand the context. I understand it completely. I can read.
Read it again.
Test the competence. Keep your camera still. Which one do you want me to read?
No, at the Asbab al-Nuzul, that's what
Oh, you want the Asbab al-Nuzul? Okay, let me
Yeah.
bring it up 1 second.
Yes.
Post that baby see big skin. Thank you for the big skin. Thank you. Now, the reason I called you deceptive connect with Islam is because I previously read out the Asbab al-Nuzul, and you said that you agree with it. So if we're both agreeing with the Asbab al-Nuzul, I still don't see your argument. Now, let me read the Asbab al-Nuzul really quickly. Please, everybody pay attention. Prove orphans. This was revealed about Thabit ibn Rifa and his uncle. Rifa passed away when his son Thabit was very young. The uncle of Thabit went to the messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, "The son of my brother is an orphan under my care. What is lawful from me from his wealth? And when should I give back his wealth?" And then the ayah was revealed, test the competence of the orphans until they reach a marriageable age. And when they reach that marriageable age, host, it didn't say to get married, or what did it say? Give back their wealth. Now, I'm asking connect with Islam. What is this marriageable age? He said there's no number, there's no figure on it. So how do you determine a young child is ready for marriage, Islamically speaking? Thank you.
So, very direct answer to it is this. From the Asbab al-Nuzul that she read, everybody will see the answer. I'm very sure some of you will be laughing right now. She said, the person went to the prophet, when should I return the property of this person back? And an ayah was revealed. That ayah is saying, return the property back when this person reached marriageable age and has sound judgment. Now, how do you know when this person reached marriageable age? It is stated that marriageable age means when she has reached the age of puberty. How do you determine in Islam when somebody has reached the age of puberty? There are so many ways. Number one, it confirms with what I have read scientifically, that is growing of hair, that is developing all the body features and all the rest things. These are the signs of puberty. Signs of puberty is an objective standard. It is not peculiar to any tribe or nation. When it comes, because it's a natural phenomenon, you will see it. There's no
Okay. Connect with Islam. Can you give us the requirements for a young girl? Can you repeat what you just said? So, if you were to determine that this girl is ready for marriage, what signs should that girl be showing? Tell us again.
She will be growing breasts. She will be growing hair. She will grow weight. Her weight will increase. The cough will be there. Sometimes there will be acne, which we call pimples. She will grow rapidly, and one of the last part of it is that she will start menstrual periods.
Can I ask you, is that also, relax, is that also the criteria for consummation?
Yes.
All these things you just mentioned. Okay, that's the criteria for consummation. All right, cool. Google says. Google says here. Yeah.
Go on. I just wanted to know that is it one of them or all of them have to be met?
Any of them.
Okay.
Any of them has to be met. Okay, so remember, I asked him, is this the what's that word? Is this the criteria for consummation of the marriage as well? He said yes. Now, it says that girls typically show the first sign of puberty between the ages of 8 and 13, with the average starts around 10 or 11. Now, Mr. Connect with Islam, if the girl was to show, because the host asked you, does this girl needs to show all the signs? You said no, that one of the signs. So let me pick one. You mentioned the growth of breast. Now, if this 10-year-old starts growing the breast tissues on her chest, according to your definition, is she ready for marriage and consummation?
Yes, she's ready for marriage because that's a sign of puberty.
So you can consummate marriage with her?
Yeah.
At 10 years old?
Is Connect there?
We have a long way to go, man.
Yes, I am here. I'm here.
She asked you a question. You're on mute.
Me?
We have a long way to go, my Nigerian people. You can hear this for yourself.
Yeah. So she said even if she's 10 years old.
I have answered the question. So if she wants to ask
Can you
question, I will
clarify
answer.
the question? The host asked you for clarification. Please respect the host. Can you clarify what you just said?
Maybe I didn't hear because a call was coming in. Can you repeat the question? Can you repeat the question?
Can you repeat what you just said?
No.
Yes,
You
have
asked
to
the
ask
question.
me,
You
not
asked
go.
the
You have to
question.
push the question.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. So you mentioned some of the criteria that were needed. You mentioned like breast tissue, period. You mentioned acne, things like spots like that. So I remember the host was asking you, does she need to show all of these signs or one only? You said she doesn't necessarily need to show all of it. Now, according to science that we have, it says that the puberty and the signs would start to show between the ages of 13 with the average starting around 10. So my question to you is, if a girl at the age of 10 was to show one of these signs that you mentioned, is she ready for marriage and consummation?
Correct.
At 10 years old?
Correct.
Is a 10-year-old a child or an adult?
It depends on whether she has reached the age of puberty, not about the number.
If she has shown one of these signs, is she an adult?
Yes. She's not a child again.
There we go. So a 10-year-old that's got breast tissue is no longer a child. Host, anything else? I think I'm pretty much done here. I've proved my point. Islam allows the consummation and the marriage of children.
All right. So I think the first 15 minutes is gone. So I'm going to put this one now on Connect with Islam. So Connect with Islam, the first 15 minutes starts now to ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much. So my sister, please can you define what is meant by puberty?
Please, host, I need a drink if you don't mind. Just give me two. Can we have like 2 minutes break while everyone tap the screen, please? I need to swallow the vomit that just came out of my mouth, please.
Okay, please.
All right.
Your time.
Yeah, I will restart it.
All right, whenever you're ready, host.
Connect there. Maybe you went for water too. Okay, so
Can you hear?
are you here? Yeah,
You
you
can
can
start
start
my
15
time.
minutes. Yes, start now.
Okay, my sister, once again, can you tell us what puberty means?
Can you give us an objective definition, please, so that we can all agree? I don't want to personalize. I can't think of a personal definition. So if you just type it into Google, or I can bring it up on the screen, because I think we will all need to be objective about what puberty is. For me, puberty is a process. Puberty doesn't happen overnight. I am a woman. I was once a girl. I've gone through it. I woke up in the morning of my period. It didn't make me an adult. My mom was still washing my clothes. I still couldn't get a job, you understand, at that age. So for me, puberty is a process from childhood into adolescence, and it can take between a period to 8 to 10 years, I believe. You can cross-check me on that. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's what puberty is to me.
I want you to hold on. So I want a situation whereby what we are doing here is we are not going to be sentimental. Irrespective of whether we agree with it or not, let us be objective. So I have quoted three definitions. I don't know, do you trust Oxford? Do you trust Wikipedia? Any of the definition? Can I bring it out?
Can I just ask a question connected with Islam?
You can't ask.
No. I need to understand what's going on, because for me, I feel like everything has been rounded up. You've agreed that you can sleep and consummate with a 10-year-old. Hang on. The topic was about Islam and the allowing of prepubescent marriages and consummation. We've already done that.
Yeah. I will. Go on. Mommy, do you want to say something? I'll say something and we'll restart. Go on.
I don't have anything to say. I just felt like we were concluded. But if he wants to carry on, he can go ahead.
All right. So, Mommy of all, let me say this for you to understand. We're having an educative and informal debate. When you have that 15 minutes, he can only ask you a question. You answer it. So it's not because you spend that first 15 minutes, you've said something and that's the end. No, it doesn't work like that. So he's going to use his own 15 minutes as well. He's going to drill you with questions. Remember that time I was saying that, yeah, you can even interrupt or whatever. He's going to ask you those questions. You're going to answer as you can answer as well. That's the way it works. So can we just start again? Is that all right?
Sure, go ahead.
And please don't mute. Mommy of Okufar, don't mute your mic, please.
I mute because my son can be noisy at times, so I will. Don't worry, if I need to unmute, I will. But I keep muted because of the noise, you see.
All right, no problem. All right, can you start now?
Please, can you restart my time? Okay, so again, please, can you give us objective definition of puberty?
Put it up on the screen?
You can do that.
Okay, no problem.
So please, host, mute my time.
Yeah, I can see it. Don't worry. Left to me, I would have said you should read a particular one. If she agrees, yes. If you don't agree, then she bring her own. Easy.
You can bring down the big screen so that you can see what she wrote for it.
Puberty is the period which adolescents reach sexual maturity and become capable of reproduction. This is according to Oxford.
Okay, so do you agree to that definition?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can somebody reach this age of puberty without menstruation?
Let me type it in on Google to be sure. Yes, according to what we have, yes, a female can experience signs of puberty, such as breast development and pubic hair growth, without having her first menstruation yet, as menstruation usually occurs about 2 years after the puberty begins. However, if menstruation has not started by the age of 15, this is known as primary and amenorrhea and should be evaluated by a doctor.
Okay, so the next question I will ask you is that, do you believe somebody who has attained the age of puberty is no longer a child?
No, I don't believe in that, no.
Okay, what is the definition of a child?
A child, objectively, let me bring up the definition, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A child is generally defined as a human being under the age of 18, representing the developmental stages between birth and adulthood. According to the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child and UK law, they are considered legally vulnerable and they are entitled to specific protection, rights, and regardless of their independence, education, or status.
Can we see more definition? Maybe also.
Yeah, if you want, no problem.
No, go down, just go down. Let's see more definition.
No problem. Don't act as if I'm trying to hide something. Just ask me now.
I'm not doing
The way you're
that.
like, go down. You don't need to do that. If you want me to bring more, absolutely. And I'm doing you a favor. Yeah, remember, you should be the one presenting.
Yes, I agree with you, and I just want you to understand this. We are just educating people. I am not here to have any war with any. If I see you outside, you become my friend and all the stuff, I don't have problem with that. So please.
Yeah, it will be hard for me to be friends with somebody that thinks it's okay to come to me with a 10-year-old, with all due respect. So a young human being below the age of puberty or below the, a child is a young human being below the age of puberty or below the legal age of majority.
So if we agree that a child is somebody below the age of puberty, I want to direct the question again. Do you believe if somebody has attained the age of puberty, the person is no longer a child?
No, I don't agree according to the definition, because the definition here also mentions legal, because just because she starts her period doesn't mean she can get a job. She still can't sign a contract. I still have to take this child to the doctor's hospital. She can't hold a job. She can't vote. She can't purchase alcohol. She can't have a mortgage. She will still be requiring me to wash her clothes and her bedding. So no, I don't agree with you. I'm sorry.
Can you please differentiate between objective definition and subjective definition?
You can call it subjective. This might be subjective to me. I don't think a 10-year-old that has started her menses is a child. You might think, sorry, it's not a child. You might think it's a child. That's subjective to you. So right now, I'm giving you my own subjective opinion that a 10-year-old with little scorpion bites on her boobs is an adult. That's me subjectively.
I think what we'll be interested in here is objective opinion. Objective because we don't want anybody to define anything because of your bias or because of your sentiment or your culture or anything. We are talking about something generally agreed. Whether you like it or not, that is the case. So puberty is
I think if that's the case, we should ask the comment section so that we can have more of an objective opinion.
What we are doing right now, we are still going to stick to the dictionary. The dictionary says a young human being below the age of puberty. That is objective definition. Do you agree to that definition?
Okay.
Okay. If you agree to that definition, does it mean that once that person has reached the age of puberty, the person is no longer a child?
I don't agree with that. I agree with the objective definition because it's a dictionary and we have to remain honest. But for me personally, I don't agree that just because she's reached that age, because when you look at it, the people that give this definition as well, they didn't say that it gives you men rights to go and sleep with a 10-year-old. You guys are the one making. Let me finish. You guys are the one making that up according to your religion. You understand? They didn't give you the rights to go and knock them.
You have answered my question. I think the house should at least answer or at least take judgment. So what we are doing here, what I'm trying to do here is to be objective enough. So the next question I will ask is this. In the case of Surah 4, verse 6, Do you agree with me that what that verse is saying is testing when an orphan will be independent? Do you agree with that?
Independent for them to get their inheritance back, yes.
Yeah, independent to be on their own, not to depend on anybody again.
Independence according to the Surah and Ayah to get their inheritance back. I'm not going to add or take away from the verse.
Okay, so what are the criteria given for them to determine that they are independent?
You can tell us, because if I bring the tafsir you would tell. I'm not reading history. You can tell us, because if I bring the tafsir that explains it, just like you rejected 65 for tafsir and you were deceptive about it, you're going to do the same. So you tell us, educate me.
Again, you don't have to resort to a denominational fallacy. You don't need to attack me to make your point.
It is not an attack. You were deceptive about the tafsir. That's a fact.
Again, that is an attack to win people's emotion. That's an attack. So again, let's get back to the question. The question is this. This is a question time. You have been talking about Surah 4 verse 6. I am pushing the question to you again. Can you tell us through the criteria by which this person will have his property returned back?
Like I said, you have to explain that to us, because for me to tell you, I will have to pull up a tafsir. You don't like tafsirs. No, you don't know. I'm sorry. I want scholarly explanation, because I'm getting tired of you interpreting ayahs on your own. Please pull up the tafsir and let's see what people that have knowledge more than me and you say about it. No tafsir, I will stop the conversation. I'm getting sick of this no evidence.
One second, I'm going to pause. Mommy of Okufar, this is the thing. In your own period, this is not the final one. This is what I have expected you to do. That this scholar said this. Give me evidence that's proof otherwise. But you haven't asked him that question. It is his own time to ask you this question now. So if he's saying that you should bring that one, you need to answer. After this, if you have all your questions where you want to put him to the wall, you need to ask, and he doesn't have a choice. He needs to answer. That's what it is. So at the moment now, please, according to that ayah, what can you answer his question or whatever he says? If you are not, or backtracking too much, then the person that's asking the question, can you read it for us? I will add extra 2 minutes. Go on. Connect with Islam. If he's not if he doesn't want to,
no. If he's not going to ask, I will move on. That's not my own something. I'm not here to win it.
I would like a scholarly explanation of the ayah. If he doesn't, host, with all due respect, one thing I feel like you've been unfair about is that you're not pushing him to bring his references. He has sat here since the entire conversation, brought half a reference. I don't play games. I don't play like that. Bring a scholarly explanation, somebody that knows more than me and you. Let's see what they say about it. If he can't do that, I'm going to drop and I'm going to call it a day. Because I'm sick of the no evidence, you guys giving your own opinions. We read tafsir, you will say, oh, no, you didn't understand the tafsir. For the fact that I brought you the 4 imams, for the fact that I brought you that puberty is not a requirement, you can't prove nothing. Please, host, no tafsir, I'm going to drop. Because you guys are being silly to me now.
Hey, again,
right. Just wait. Sorry. Connect with Islam. Sorry. All right. Let us just take a chill pill. Let us just relax. I think we are getting emotional, all of us. Let us just relax, please. Like I said, a mommy of Islam, mommy of Okufar, rather. When you're asking those questions, if you ask him to provide one evidence and he didn't, I don't think there is any single one he said that give me evidence and he didn't. Except if you want to tell me that now, we are using his time now. Except if you want to tell me that now, I will apologize. The one you asked him to bring, he did, and he actually came up on his own computer, and you read it, even from his computer as well. So for you to say that,
Host, I need to ask you a question. How do we interpret ayah? Do you give your own interpretation, or Islamically, do we go to the scholars? Answer that simple question.
Okay, so this I am not the one debating. If you require him to interpret according to the scholar, he will provide you those evidence. Did he give you that or not?
He's not provided a single scholarly reference since we've been in this life.
He did.
He has not given. He has, I promise, he has not given one tafsir since this life. Go and replay and watch.
Should I remind you one?
Remind me one tafsir he's brought to this table.
Thank you. He showed us on his screen of, I think it is Anafi or something, one of the scholar, that says that if all these things that I am saying to you, if you find anything, if it is not in line with any...
That was a hadith.
Yes, now...
Oh, no, host, you're biased. I'm sorry.
what
if
do
you doesn't
you mean
provide,
by that?
that was a hadith that he brought up, host. That was not the scholarly explanation to any ayah. Please, host.
No,
Host, I think maybe it's time for you to sit out of this now. I'm not gonna lie, because you're being biased. I want a scholarly explanation of Quran 4:6. If I don't get a scholarly explanation, because scholars know more than me, scholars more
Did you ask him that
more than
question?
you. Give me a scholarly interpretation of 4:6, or the conversation is over. That's it. Simple.
Did you ask him that question?
Yes, how many times have I asked?
In the question and answer section, did you ask him? I will send you the screenshot, the screen recording.
Bring
and you see
me
that
an
during
is.
your 15
You know
minutes.
what? You know what? You know
One
what?
second,
I'm just
second.
gonna have to drop that. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
One
I'm
second,
done.
one-
Host, you're
one
very
second.
biased. I brought up
One
hadith.
second.
No, I don't like this. I don't like this.
What?
Next time, I'm not gonna host on this panel because you're very biased. He has not brought any single tafsir.
Host, can you hold on? Host, can you hold on? Muslims, we are not dumb. And I want you to understand something. This is our religion. This is something we practice. It is not something that we just memorize or anything. It is what we base our life on. Now, if I interpret any ayah of the Quran and somebody is telling me your interpretation is wrong, the burden of proof is on that person to give me why it is wrong. But this Quran is very, very clear that it does not even, the simple question I ask is this. I agree with a tafsir, with the tafsir she brought at the Asbab al-Nuzul, and I asked the question. I agree that it is about returning the property of this person back when that person is fit to be independent. The only simple question is this. It is in the verse of the Quran there. What are the criteria? I don't need to see the scholar because it is there in the Quran.
So if the tafsir is there, if you agree with what I've read, then how are you still using this particular ayah to talk about marriage? You agreed, excuse me, you agreed with the tafsir, you agreed with the Asbab al-Nuzul that it is about the orphans and when to give back their inheritance. So I still don't get how, in your mind, you're still trying to use this particular Quranic verse to negate child marriage. After you already said it's okay to sleep with a 10-year-old that has breast. After you already confirmed that. I don't quite get what point you're trying to prove here.
Do you think what I meant by using this verse is that this verse is telling you time to marry? Is that what you thought I was using this verse to justify?
What are you using this verse to justify if we both agree it's about questioning?
Can you please just answer that my question?
What are you using this verse to justify if we both agree it's about inheritance?
I am making this thing easy for everybody and you to understand. I am being charitable here. Do you think what I am using this verse to justify is that this verse is talking about marrying people?
You tell us why you're bringing up the verse.
Everybody can see. You see, the problem is that the people that have been discussing with you, it is not about knowing the knowledge. It is about knowing the tricks. The issue is this. The way I make a discussion, I built my premises. Again, I am going to repeat this thing to you. That hadith that you read, 100% I agree with you. It is not about commanding an orphan to go and marry. That is not the essence of the hadith. And that is not the essence of the revelation of the Quran. The essence of this revelation is to determine whether that orphan has reached the stage whereby he will be independent to manage his life. And once that is confirmed, release their property to them. Do you have a problem with that interpretation?
We have agreed on the interpretation. My question is, we have agreed on the interpretation. My question is, now that we have agreed on the interpretation, what exactly are you using this ayah to prove? If we both agree that yes, it's about, wait, hang on, yes, it's about orphans, yes, it's about when to give back their inheritance, yes, you agree with the Asbab al-Nuzul, which was revealed about Ribit or whatever, uncle and his uncle, you agreed with all of that. So what are you using this verse for right now? Tell us what you're using it to try and prove or justify.
The essence of my asking you question is to clarify this thing to people and to you too. The essence, the reason why I'm using this verse is this. There should be a criteria for you to know whether this person has reached the stage of independence. So I am asking you the question from this higher. What are those criteria that Allah said you should use?
This ayah is about inheritance. This ayah is not about marriage. This ayah, like you've agreed with me, is about inheritance, not about marriage. You said it yourself that when they become independent enough, you give back their wealth. It didn't say you marry them. It says you give back their wealth. This ayah is about inheritance, not about marriage. Please.
I didn't talk about marriage now. I have not even talked about marriage again. I am only asking a simple question. What criteria is this verse using for you to test whether this orphan has reached that stage of independence, for you to give him back? What criteria?
You tell us the criteria that's being used. Go ahead, according to the ayah, what does it say?
He must have reached marriageable age and must have sound judgment. Do you disagree with that?
Yes, what is this marriageable age, please?
First of all, can you just answer my question?
According to the ayah, the orphans must reach a marriageable age. No problem. Tell us, what is this marriageable age?
The marriageable age is when that person is mature. That is when he has reached the age of puberty. First of all, agree with me. Is that correct?
I'm conceding. Which is what age?
Thank you. So I will now go to that essay that you said I should go to, so that you now let us read.
Which is what age, sir?
That is when we begin to see some features.
Let us show
When
us.
we begin to see some features. So no, I want to show you. That's what I want to show you. So thank you. Follow me. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Let me try and
go
make
ahead.
it bigger. Let me try and make it bigger. So and test the orphan, their intelligence. As Ibn okay, sorry, let me put it this way. I just want you to follow too. As Ibn Abbas, Al-Azan and Asudi Ibn stated,
Sorry.
until they reach age of marriage.
Context in Islam. Context with Islam. Sorry. Just for people that cannot see because it's small. Can you give us the reference before you start reading what you
Ibn
want to
Kathir,
read?
I'm using Ibn Kathir. I'm using
Okay.
Tafsir of Ibn Kathir.
Okay.
If you can bring it up, no problem. Tafsir of Ibn Kathir, that's what I'm reading.
Okay. Go on. Then go on. You can read.
So until they reach the age of marriage, age of puberty, according to Mujahid, the age of puberty, according to majority of scholars, come when the child has a wet dream. In his Sunnah, Abu Dawud recorded that Ali said, I memorized this word from the Prophet of Allah. There is no orphan after the age of puberty, nor vowing to be silent throughout the day or the night. In another hadith, Aisha and other companions said that the Prophet said, the pen does not record the deed of three persons: the child until the age of puberty, the sleeping person until waking up, the senile until sane, or the age of 15 considered as the age of adolescence. In the two Sahih, it is recorded that Ibn Umar said, I was presented in front of the messenger of the prophet on the eve of the battle of Uhud, while I was 14 years of age. And he did not allow me to take part in the battle, but I was presented in front of him on the eve of the battle of Kandahar, the trench, when I was 15 years, and he allowed me to join the battle. Umar ibn Abdulaziz commented when this hadith reached him, this is the difference between a child and an adult. There is different opinion over whether pubic hair is considered a sign of adulthood, and the correct opinion is that the Sunnah supports this view. According to hadith collected by Imam Ahmad from Atiyah al-Quraizi, who said, we were presented to the Prophet on the day of Quraiza. Whoever has pubic hair was killed. Whoever did not was left to go free. I was one of those who did not, so I was left free. The four Sunnah compilers also recorded similar to it, Trimidi and whatever. Then, okay, so that is it.
So what age do kids normally have wet dreams according to science?
You are talking about the male. That is male. So again, and I want to correct one notion. If you are putting normal,
can you answer the question, please? Because I allowed you to read all of that, so I have questions. What age do we normally, or do kids normally get wet dream?
I think the way this thing is going now, I don't even know whether I'm the one asking question or she's the one asking question. I don't even know.
You read something out and I'm asking a question about it. What's the big deal? What age do kids generally start having wet dream?
It is subjective.
So that means there's no specific age, right?
No. If you mention sorry, let me just add, so that you understand what I mean. Even in this hadith, we are told that because it is subjective, because in their own environment, somebody to have wet dream maybe around 15 years. However, what if that person had wet dream at the age of 13 years? What do you say to that?
Okay, so you've just cleared it that there is no specific age when it comes to wet dream.
Number.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Age, number is the same. Now, when I say age, automatically that means number. So there's no specific age.
I don't want you to. Sorry to cut you short. And I want you to understand the position I am coming from, and that is the position of the Quran. When you are talking about age as regards the timeline in the event in the life of man,